Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler.
You can't handle the truth!
Graham.
The force is strong in this one.
And Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Alrighty then.
Hey everybody, welcome into the Gaming Hub. This is episode number 102. Wrapping up the Microsoft conference, which just ended. We just finished watching it. We are also live on Twitch right now. If you're listening to us on iTunes, CastBox, Podcast Addict, any other app, it might be a little different than the normal show. This is our E3 coverage, and we tend to interact a little bit more with our Twitch chat during that to get some questions and some real-time sort of feedback and stuff like that. So hopefully, bear with us for that. Just makes it a little bit more kind of in the moment as we're reacting to what we just saw. So guys, I want to turn over to you. I just want to say, I think they did a tremendous job today. I think we've been really hard on the Xbox One for the last few months on our show, and I think today was the first time that in a while that I feel really happy that I have an Xbox One and I'm excited about what's coming. So Graham, let's go to you first. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, we laid the blueprint for what they had to do to deliver, and they didn't deliver on all aspects, but they delivered on aspects that we weren't even thinking of. So overall, they did really good, and I know we'll get more in depth into it, and I probably should say they did really well if you guys want to be really picky. But yeah, no, it was a great conference. I was excited the whole time. I watched it on Mixer in 4K glory, and most of the games look absolutely stunning. Even games that I'm like, I have no interest in playing this, but this game looks amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll definitely talk about which games I might be referring to later.
We're going to get into a bunch of stuff. So, Steve, your thoughts on what we just saw?
Well, it started amazing, and then towards the end, I was waiting for certain things, and they didn't happen, and that kind of disappointed me a little bit. And, I mean, maybe that's on me, because I thought they had a good show. It was a really, really well-done show, focused on what they needed to, just disappointed that a couple things were missing, and I think we'll touch on that here in a little bit, but...
Well, we got a good roadmap, though, for what they're going to be doing over the next couple of years.
Yes.
And, a lot of what they showed isn't coming out this year, and that's okay. But we saw what's coming.
Yeah, and not only that, we saw where it's coming from, like with all the studios and stuff, if you want to get into things.
Yeah, and we'll talk about kind of the studio acquisitions and all that stuff. So, that we saw basically a commitment for them to make a huge investment in first-party games over the course of the hour and 45 minutes or so that the conference went. So that's exactly what I think they needed to do, but I want to kick off just talking about topics, and I want to start with the start of the conference, and we saw Halo Infinite on stage, and man, I'm going to tell you, so first of all, that was one of those moments, there were times during this podcast that all of us were like screaming like little kids.
No,
I never did that. Fake news.
Yeah, sure. So... this was one of them. Like, right when we saw it, we're like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And then you kind of saw a hint, and then you saw Master Chief's helmet, and you're like, oh my god, this is the next Halo game. And we didn't see anything of anything like gameplay or anything like that. Nothing. But we saw something very similar to what we saw with the Halo 5, unveiling a few years ago at E3. Just sort of a kind of a cinematic, all that type of stuff. But we had a question in Twitch chat, like, do you think this is like a side scroller, maybe not a mainline game? I think it's absolutely a mainline game.
Yeah, I think
it's a full game. And we didn't get anything in the way of a release date or anything like that, but guys, I want to throw it to you, like, how awesome is it just to see Halo back on the stage and see Master Chief just for a second, but how cool was it to see sort of that commitment from them that, hey, we're working on this, it's coming.
I'm more happy for you, Tyler, to be honest, because I was never a big Halo fan. I enjoy playing it. We went through the trilogy together, and it was great. I liked the story and all that stuff. But I know what Halo means to so many people, including you, Tyler. Yep. So I'm definitely happy to see that they gave you guys like a glimmer of hope. You guys knew it was coming. You just didn't know it was coming. Some people speculated it was coming this E3. They would announce it, and some people were like, no, it's not. So no, I'm glad you got what you wanted for sure.
Yeah. And Steve, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm curious if this is going to be like Reach or like Halo 6. Someone in Twitch said that in the message of the day on Halo 5 says Infinite's the next chapter in the saga. So I think that kind of means that it's either Halo 6 or in between Halo 5 and 6. And honestly, I mean, I never finished Halo 5 because I didn't much love the story, and that's the first Halo game I didn't beat. And I do want to go back and beat it. So I can't speak to how the game ends, but I heard a lot of complaints about it. And I wonder if this is the best way to like fix the complaints going into Halo 6 and kind of bring the story back to like where it should be as opposed to where it is. So I'm excited. I wonder when we're going to see this game.
I think we're looking at holiday next year. And I think
so?
Yeah, I think E3 next year for them, we'll see a lot of this game on stage. And I think it'll be holiday in 2019. Which kind of brings me to the point, like, and we'll get into all the games again, but man, we saw so much stuff, and it's all like 2019. And not just like Microsoft exclusives. We're talking like third-party games, and man, I think next year's going to be like the 2007 of last generation all over again, where they had like all of these like super AAA awesome games, and everyone was broke. And it was kind of like the peak of the generation, and I think next year's going to be that for this current generation right now. When you look at potential for Halo 5, we know like Gears is coming. We'll talk about that. All the games that were already announced for like February 22nd, which is going to be like horrible. That's going to be worse than any day this fall for a lot of people that are spending money on games. So I think next year is really loaded, and we'll get into that as the show kind of continues. But Graham, let's go to you next. I have a feeling I know what you're going to want to talk about.
Well, there's not a lot to say. So basically, I'll talk about when Todd Howard came out, and I'm like, oh my god, I was like kind of predicting something like this is going to happen. There was no really huge announcements. Like, they did show Fallout 76. We know Fallout 76 is coming, but it opened the door to talk about Fallout coming to Game Pass. And yeah, they just like upped the ante with Game Pass. They announced, was it 3 titles? Yeah, it was. I don't remember exactly which ones were, but they were really big titles. So it was good to see that. Like, we were thinking maybe VR. We didn't hear any of that stuff. So that was huge to see that, and the fact that Bethesda is going to have their own conference, but they're like, well, let's show it on the Microsoft stage. Like, they could have said no, but and the way he was like joking about like, oh, you're over there, Phil's like, oh, why don't you come over and see my friends? And like, oh, okay. But I thought that was really cool and stuff like that. And the fact that they said that it's 4 times the size of Fallout 4, wow. You got to make that little my head exploding sound.
Well, yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, there was a big announcement about this game. I mean, I think that kind of clarifies that this is a mainline game. This is a full Fallout title.
Yeah.
And not something that is sort of like a smaller like side thing. And I think it's awesome that they were able to get this done this fast, because Fallout 4 is, what, 2015 title?
Yeah.
So we're only 3 years out. And you can pre-order it here in 1 week.
Yeah, you can pre-order on Friday, actually. And another thing, too, is because people are like, they were pushing that this is going to be a survival and like online survival. So I'm guessing there's going to be just an intense amount of survival aspect to the game, if so you choose, maybe. Like, I'm not going to say it is for sure, but for it all be about that, which is awesome, right? Because some people really like that. So hopefully it's an option where, because like, you know, where they always have like hardcore mode or survival mode, you can turn on and off, or later they'll release it. So maybe that's like a later mode, more hardcore, will be released later. But no, I'm excited for sure.
Steve, your thoughts?
What was the question again? On my bad, I had to check
Fallout 76.
Facebook. I'm trying to answer some of the side stuff, behind the scenes work. No, I'm excited for Fallout 76. I'm still a little hesitant about the whole like online focused aspect that we might be seeing. But if it's a mainline game, I mean, I'm obviously gonna have to get it because I like the Fallout world, and as long as it's not like a Rust or Daisy or type of game, then I'll be buying this game and playing it. And I still think we're gonna see it this year. I don't think they announced a date, and I think they might during Bethesda's conference later.
That'll be tonight.
But
I think it'll be this year too.
It's gonna be this year.
I think so too, Steven. I'm gonna back you up on that one.
And if it's a mainline game, then we're not getting Elder Scrolls this year. They won't go with both of them in the same year. That's just not sound like business practice.
Could.
Well, I mean they could, but you wanna have your name in the conversation every holiday season, not just big time one and then like nothing next year. So if they can do Fallout this year and Elder Scrolls next year, why not? And you never want to put your games in a position where they're going to compete against each other either. So
True. But I still have a sneaking suspicion that Fallout 76 could be a summer title, and the Elder Scrolls will be a winter title.
yeah, it could.
Maybe
This
that's
year?
just me wanting it to happen, but that's my
In
sneaking
Steven's perfect
suspicion.
world.
In my perfect world. Well, in my perfect world, Kingdom Hearts would have been announced for like tomorrow. And then I would have said, sorry, guys, I'm taking a day off the show, and you guys do that. I'm going to go play Kingdom Hearts. I kid, but
So
we'll see.
yeah, I mean we'll get the answers to all this stuff tonight.
Yes.
So let's kind of keep plugging along with Microsoft because there's so much to talk about here. So Steve, I want to go to you next. Like we talked about, Halo. We talked about Fallout 76. What do you got that you want to talk about next?
Man, there's so much. Well, I'll just get it out of the way. Kingdom Hearts 3 was when I screamed like a little girl, so loud, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. The trailer was amazing, despite what some people are saying in the Twitch chat. I'm giving the side eyes right now, because that was ridiculous. I was so hyped. I see Elsa, oh my gosh, Frozen's in it, Tangled's in it, Toy Story we already knew, Monsters Inc., Hercules is back. I'm just pumped to continue the saga of Kingdom Hearts. It's finally got a release date today. It wasn't announced at the show, but it was announced this morning of January 20... I think it was 25th in Japan and then 29th in the US. Yeah, that is correct. And I can't wait. Yes, next year's going to suck, but at least there's really not much of a difference between like January and February and like November, December of this year. It's really only a couple months. So it's not a huge delay. There's a lot of stuff coming out early next year, and luckily I'll have Kingdom Hearts a month before the 22nd of February when like 7,000 other games come out. So I will have Kingdom Hearts 3 beaten by the time those games come out.
Wait, did you say you're gonna have Game Beat? Is that what I just heard?
Oh, Kingdom Hearts, absolutely.
Yeah.
I like those games. That's
Yeah.
that's the difference.
So I'll go next. Well, the game looks great to me, and it looks really stunning. It looks fantastic. I've never played Kingdom Hearts, Steve, so I kind of want to try it. Like, is it something where I need to have played the first two to really?
Oh,
kinda
absolutely. Oh,
Okay.
no. No, you don't even need to just play the first two. You need
Oh,
to
boy.
play the Kingdom Hearts
Here we go.
1.5 and 2.5 remix and the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 HD Final Chapter Prologue. There is 8 games and 3 movies you need to have watched to understand the story. This is like the most convoluted fucking story that out of any video game, bar like maybe is Resident Evil that even convoluted? This is probably the most convoluted series story-wise. So yes, you should play the other games, but they're amazing freaking games, and they're like $20 now for the 1.5 and 2.5 collection. Like, get on that.
Yeah, you got 300 hours. 300
Yeah,
hours.
Yeah,
to spare.
I mean,
300 hours.
well, first of all, they should totally hire you as their like PR guy, Steve, because you just sold me on all of it. With all this time commitment and telling me it's so convoluted and all this other stuff, and you're telling Graham to watch movies, so he's out, and it's like.
This is the one series I fangirl harder than anything manual in Twitch. I do fanboy over this. This is my jam.
Yeah. So, Graham, your thoughts on Kingdom Hearts?
Yeah, no, it looks stunning. I'm not familiar with all the Disney characters. I know some of them. like if this game wasn't as extensive as it is, which is amazing, like don't kid me, I like extensive games like that, but I don't really want to dig like that far into the universe. But as far as the game looked amazing, like the characters looked awesome, the gameplay, I can see that it's gonna be just nothing but like stunning and probably really fun to play. But I don't know, like I'd have to have a lot of games complete before I would like take on that trek, because like Steven was saying too, like you more or less want to play the other ones first, and I would rather not. So I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
as of
you
right
didn't
now,
really
I'm
sell
on the
me
fence.
on this right
Yeah,
now.
I know.
But the only thing I want to mention about this is just the significance of having this on the Xbox stage.
Yeah.
We didn't think that was going to be a thing. We thought we'd see like Kingdom Hearts. We thought we'd see it tomorrow in the morning with Square, and then we thought we'd maybe see a little bit more with Sony tomorrow night.
Yeah.
The significance
not
of
only
having
that-
this like on the Microsoft stage, real quick, Graham, before you go, and I get the feeling that there was a little bit of a middle finger being raised. And I think they took a couple of those little shots today. And you know what I say? About time, because it happens all the time on the other side. I'm just calling it out. And I love PlayStation. But the little jabs, like going back to 2013, like the PlayStation conference was amazing. And it was so amazing that for me, like the constant like jabs at Xbox took away from it because it was just petty. Like, it was like kicking them when they're down, because they had them beat so soundly. Like, their conference on its own stood out, and it was just one of the high moments of E3 ever. And then they did that stuff too, and they kind of do it once in a while, and Microsoft is always like, well, we're going to take sort of the high road and celebrate gaming together, and they still have that message. But I saw a couple of the moments today talking about also, like, your games are going to look and play the best on Xbox One and stuff like that. Just the little digs that, I mean, it's a competitive business. So, Graham, go ahead.
Yeah, the one thing I was just going to point out was you were talking about Square Enix. They showed, 3 Square Enix titles on the Microsoft stage?
At least.
So, yeah, I know they done Tomb Raider, they done Kingdom Hearts, and there was at least one more.
Well, I'm pretty sure the Tales series is Square.
Okay.
Remastered.
Yeah, so like I said,
Yeah.
like it was interesting how Square Enix has a conference, but they showed like 3 of these big games on the Microsoft stage. And not only that, like there was other big titles as well that like will be on PlayStation. So like is PlayStation going to re-show those, and like Xbox
Yes.
be like, well, we've
Well,
already showed that. So now they're kind of taking away from them.
Yeah, it won't be the same thing, Graham. But for these smaller shows,
Mm-hmm.
it makes total sense to show their stuff on the Microsoft or Sony stage, because those are the two that the most people watch.
Yeah, bigger audience. Yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
So you get your game out there and you let people see it and all that stuff. On that note, though, are we surprised we didn't see a lot of like Anthem today?
We saw none.
We saw
Yeah, we saw
none.
none.
And
That
we
was-
thought we were going to, like, for sure.
Yeah, we did.
I mean, I kind of am a little bit, but once I saw that it wasn't an Xbox exclusive, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
never mind. Yeah, we're not gonna
Yeah.
see it.
I was really impressed. On that note, Steve, before we go into another round here, and actually I'll make this my next topic. How
Go ahead.
impressive was it that we saw a commitment? Like, it was 18 exclusives.
Yes.
How many world premieres? Like, it was insane.
Yeah.
And
25, I think.
yeah, and Twitch chat, I get we saw Anthem yesterday, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah, because they did it last year. They had it at EA and then again at Microsoft.
Yeah.
And, we're going to see Kingdom Hearts, at Square Enix tomorrow again. And we're going to see Fallout 76. I have a funny feeling at Bethesda tonight.
Oh yeah.
So,
You have a funny feeling.
yeah, I think they might. I think that I'm going to make that one of my
There's a chance.
predictions.
Yeah.
That's my reach
Questionable.
prediction. But no, they want to get it on the bigger stage, Manny, to get that extra exposure. And nobody watches the EA conference. Well, I shouldn't say nobody, but less people, because A, it's just not the same following, and B, the EA conference is kind of cringeworthy half the time. But how cool was it, that commitment? And then with a half hour left in the show, 25 minutes left, basically they made the commitment of everything you see from here on in is a world premiere. Like something that's never been seen before. Like, that's awesome. And they went back to their bread and butter, which is just games, 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 games. They talked about Game Pass for like a second, and that was the low point of it for me. I thought we stumbled through that a little bit. But I want to go to you guys. Like, your thoughts on that type of commitment. I don't think we're going to see that from Sony tomorrow.
I mean, no, we're not. I was happy with what they were showing. A lot of those games seem a little far off still. But it shows the future and where Xbox is headed, which is a hell of a lot more information than we had last week. I still thought they could have shown a little more, like, stuff that was specifically exclusive, rather than just world premieres. But, you know, the future looks bright. Those playground or the studios that Microsoft Studios had bought or had brought in, I think was the really, I'm trying to figure out how to word this, the best like indicator of where Xbox is planning to go.
Yes.
Or the future.
And so, yeah, I did quite enjoy that they showed so many games. And it wasn't just like little, well, minus the little indie montage, which I assume probably counted for a good 20 of those games, or maybe a little.
Probably not. Probably not quite.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But Steve, I agree with you. The cool thing about the developers they showed, or the studios, is that, you know, one of them, has specialized in racing games, because we've gotten Forza out of them, right? But the other four were not your bro shooter studios, and they're not making games that are the typical Xbox game. So I think what was said today by Phil Spencer was, we hear you, we're doing something, and here's our commitment to you going forward. And I think that's exactly what they needed to do. Graham, what do you think?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, the fact that they backed it up making all these games, and they're like, not only are we making games, but we know to make games, you need studios. So like, well, we got 5 more studios, and they all range in different genres of games. So they want to do a broad spectrum of games to get away from that where people like bro shooters or car racing games. So they're showing you we can be more than that. And maybe they didn't have like the games themselves in development, but they're like, well, we got a crap ton of money, so why don't we buy or pay for studios or invest in studios to supply us with these games? And the fact that Phil Spencer like made an effort to let us know that that's what's going on, that definitely, me and I'm sure other people, like, restore their faith in like Xbox going to deliver some great games in the future.
Yeah. So I want to go to Graham next. What's the next topic you want to talk about?
Real quick.
Yeah.
I just wanted to clarify a point I made earlier. I was wrong. I was wrong. It felt wrong when I said it. Tales of Vesperia was Bandai Namco, not Square Enix. But Just Cause 4 was Square. And
Just Cause is Square Enix?
yes, Just Cause was Square. And then and Nier we saw.
Nier
so there was
Automata.
a lot of Square at Xbox's conference, and it almost makes me feel like they're kind of partnering up a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hinting at.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think we might see a little bit tomorrow, maybe on that point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Wouldn't it be
Right.
interesting if we started to see the Xbox logo prior to Square's, game showings tomorrow?
I'm just thinking this idea. What about Game Pass? Square Enix titles going to Game Pass.
That's going to be
Bethesda
expensive.
was on there, and they announced like Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 4.
That's
And
true.
now
They did.
like they have the money, so like why not? Like if
Yeah.
Square Enix titles go in Game Pass, wow.
Well, are you talking about at launch, or are you talking about...
yeah.
Well, that's going to be immensely
maybe
expensive
not
for
at
Microsoft.
launch.
No.
Maybe not at launch. 'Cause
Fallout 4's been out for...
76 is not going to go
No.
at launch. So yeah, past titles
Yeah.
like maybe. Yeah, maybe.
I mean, Fallout 4's been out for, 2.5 years? So now's a good time to do that, right? And they've probably got all the sales they're going to get out of it, for the most part. So, yeah. All right, Graham, what do you got next?
Okay, next is it was towards the end of conference, and Phil Spencer tried to play it up like, okay, this is it, no more, goodbye. And it's like, things are going bad, and then the screen comes up, and I'm like, what's going on here? And then I thought, okay, they're kind of stealing from Bethesda, because they kind of did this for when they announced, I think Doom was it, or Quake maybe. Anyways, it was coming up, and then the trailer started, and they're like riding like a subway or something like that, and I heard the year is 2077, and I'm like, oh my god, 2077, Cyberpunk 2077. And then later on it showed like CD Projekt Red, so I'm like, this is it. They didn't show much, but they showed enough to get me excited, and the fact that Xbox chose this game to end on seems like it's a really big deal. And at the beginning of the conference, like Phil was talking about, oh, I've been flying all over the place because I got lots of money and I'm fancy and important. No. But yeah, he said he went to Poland. And when he said Poland, I'm like, that's where CD Projekt Red is from, because thanks to Nuka Wanderer, give a shout out, I watched his documentary on Bethesda, and then watching YouTube, it flows into the next video. Next video is CD Projekt Red, The Witcher. So I watched that. So then I'm like, okay, that guy's from Poland, and when I saw that, I'm like, awesome. So I'm hoping to get more information. I know CD Projekt Red has got not really a conference, but they're doing a thing for an hour or two. So we might get more information. But no, I was excited to see that on Microsoft stage, and I'm definitely interested in that game. And if they get exclusive rights to that, that will be a huge landing for them. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be exclusive, Graham. I don't.
Probably not. But why would you end with that? Just because you had the world premiere, maybe?
It's the world premiere.
Yeah.
You want that name association. And the first place anybody saw anything from this game was on the Xbox stage. So that's a big deal. It's a big get for them. I don't think it's going to be exclusive, but I think the game looks fantastic. It looks much more like my type of game than The Witcher.
Yeah.
And I get The Witcher's great. It's just not for me. But... so I can see myself getting into this one a lot more. So yeah, I'm excited to see more. I don't think we're getting that game this year, and we might get it next year. But I don't know, Steve. What do you think?
Yeah, it's not going to be exclusive. Because that would suck for like PlayStation fans.
Yeah.
And
True.
it would lower the amount of money that Project Red would raise, because they deserve it. There's a lot of Witcher fans on PlayStation, so I don't see this game being exclusive. I am curious when the release date is. I want this game as soon as possible. I hope at the very least summer of like next year, which is about the time or early summer, so like June. I think that's when The Witcher 3 released. Maybe it may have been May.
It was May.
Okay, so May. I would take May of next year, as long as it's not February 22nd.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Stay far away from that. Stay far away.
Or January 29th, because then I'd have to fight someone. But no, I'm excited for this game. I'd like to see gameplay, because we didn't really see gameplay. We just saw cinematics and like the cinematic trailer. So I'm excited though. I'm excited. I did like The Witcher 3 a lot, so yeah.
All right, Steve, what do you got next?
All right, well, let's talk about FromSoft showing a game on Xbox briefing, because that surprised me, because they seem to be more PlayStation-y focused, because Bloodborne was a PS exclusive, and I was kind of hoping Xbox would take the Sekiro Shadows Die Twice game and have that be their FromSoft exclusive. But I mean, just for Xbox's sake, that would have helped them, not for because I know a lot of PlayStation fans love FromSoft game. I'm super excited for this game. It looks like a ninja game, like Ninja Samurai type of thing. There's a lot more movement that was not in like the Dark Souls or the Bloodborne game. So I'm curious to see how FromSoft does that, because they have not been like Dark Souls is not known to be like a quick movement, because you saw the dude grapple onto the mountain, right, from the little bridge and stuff. But the combat looks the same as like Dark Souls. It looks very Soulsy with the way you swing your sword and just everything about the combat. And then of course you have giant monsters and humanoid enemies, and I'm super pumped for this game. What did you guys get excited?
I did, and this isn't normally the type of game that would get me excited, but they did a great job presenting it. Showed off some really good stuff from the game, and I was pretty excited. I'm at least very interested to see what's there, and see more of the game, see some gameplay, stuff like that. Deeper gameplay, like a 10-minute clip, something like that. But man, I have to say right now, if you put it in front of me and said buy it or not, I'd probably say yeah. it's I'm pretty, pretty interested in what this game can bring. And I'm not into, like, I'm not into games like that necessarily, normally. So, yeah, definitely. Graham.
Yeah, no, that game looked good, really, really good to me. The fact that it is like from the Dark Souls makers, the game looks awesome. The fact that it's like a samurai kind of thing, maybe more my style of what Dark Souls is, but I have played Dark Souls and I've enjoyed that game. For sure, like From Software, I definitely have faith in them, and the game looks great, especially in 4K. So. I don't know. I'm not going to commit saying I'm going to buy it, but I'll be curious to watch it and see when it gets a release date and what maybe the early reviews is. So, yeah, It looks good to me.
All right. So I'll go next. The biggest troll job of the show was done by the Coalition. When they came out and they announced Gears of War Pops, like the Funko Pop figures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're getting that next year. And we all saw, like, the Gears of War logo, and we're like, and then we see that, and we're like, okay. So I have no idea what that game actually is. They showed it for, 10 seconds total. And then the guy from the Coalition comes out and says, that's not all we have. And then they showed off a Gears RTS game. And, cool. And it's PC, so awesome for PC players to get a chance to play Gears and do all that. Again, those types of games aren't normally for me. And then he's like, but, it's not just about, doing new things. It's about creating new experiences, kind of within stuff you already know. And then all of a sudden, here's Gears of War 5.
Yeah, a lot of it, too.
A lot of it. Like, we saw actually a little bit of gameplay. Not much, but a little. And we saw pretty much an extended cutscene. And then we saw clips from some other things that we're going to see in the game. And... man, it looks amazing. Pretty much every game we saw today looked phenomenal in 4K.
Yes.
But it almost looked... we saw so much of it that we were kind of like, I wonder if this is coming out this year.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's coming in 2019. And no commitment as to time frame. And I imagine it'll be a fall release in 2019. But everything I saw looks amazing. We got to see some old favorites. We got to see, a lot of characters that we recognize and all that type of stuff. I can't wait to get my hands on it. I'm already excited for it. I know it's a long way away. But, yeah, what do you guys think? Graham?
Yeah, so for one, you made a point earlier, but I was waiting until we talked about Gears. You figured that we would see Halo Infinite next year. But I'm thinking, do you think they'll release Halo and Gears 5 in the same year?
No, I thought about that after I said it, but I could see them pushing Halo Infinite back to spring of 2020.
That's what I was thinking, and then this one would be fall of next year, like you said.
Yep.
Yes, so that makes more sense to me. Watching the trailer, it was absolutely stunning to watch. I was listening to it, and I'm like, I think they're spoiling a little bit of Gears 4 for me right now, and I haven't quite finished this, so I'm like, now I feel like I need to watch or finish Gears 4 before I look up any information on this, because that trailer was getting pretty in depth in the story, and I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Okay, so
yep.
But other than that, no, the game looked great. The characters, and it looks like it's a complete it takes part right after Gears 4. So I'm definitely looking forward to that, especially after I finish Gears 4. Then I'm like, okay, I'm ready to complete the story. So as of right now, I have no rush for that game to be released. There's so much on my plate, and when Fallout comes out, whenever that comes out, hopefully it's that's long and gone, and then I can move on to other games. Same with others like CD Projekt Red. So hopefully it releases without much conflict, but I will play it eventually.
Yeah, and for me, Steve, I think they always, the mark of a good trailer, the sign of a good trailer is when it makes you want to go back and play the older games. And we were both saying, we need to go finish Gears 4. We need to go play this. And so what were you thinking? What stood out to you about what we saw from Gears 5?
The fact that I need to go play Gears 4. No, the cutscenes look great. I actually like that they're going away from, we had someone in chat mention that it's kind of weird that it seems to be going away from Marcus's son, but I like that. Yeah. It kind of gives a little fresh start and kind of keeps as long as they do it right, because I know a lot of people had problems with Halo 5 going away from Master Chief. But I feel like at a certain point you just get kind of tired of the same protagonist. So I'm interested in seeing where the story leads. I'm curious when next year it's going to be released. Is it going to be a fall title and then Halo's not for the next year? Because that's insane.
Well, no, that's what we just kind of were saying. I think that Gears will be, personally, I think Gears will be next fall, and then we'll see Halo 5 in spring of 2020.
You mean or Infinite, but...
Or Infinite, yeah.
I know, I'm kind of reiterating that, like, it's just insane that that's that long of gap between Halos. Almost.
Yeah. Well, I bet you, though, that they already had a team working on Halo 6 when 5 launched. And that the feedback to the story and all that stuff made them go all the way back to the drawing board. And it's delayed the release of that game for a year to a year and a half, more than what would normally be the case. So I will bet you anything that's the case. And, take your time and get it right. Like, that's one of the few franchises where I will say, take your time and get it right. Because I'd rather play something amazing than wait, a little bit less and then be disappointed like so many people were with Halo 5.
Yeah.
And
what are the chances that Gears is like April and Halo is the fall?
I think if it was
really
coming out
both,
I think if it was coming out April next year, Steve, they would have said that. I think they would.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because anything that was pretty much spring, we at least got the month and the year. So I think anything that just said 2019, I think we're going to see in the back half of the year. That's my guess.
No, that means Ori is not till the back half.
Yeah, it probably won't be. So, although Ori was a spring release, if I remember right, the first time around. So, all right, who's up?
Who is up?
Graham is up.
Who's been following?
Yeah.
Who's paying attention here? All right. Well, I'm gonna go back to Square Enix. I'm sure we'll see a lot more of this on Monday, and that is Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, this game looks awesome. I've just been recently working my way through the other Tomb Raider, but like this seems like it just seems like the game is better. It's a more probably bigger world, and each year they like add a little more gameplay elements, and maybe the world is even bigger, or maybe the AI is better. So from what I saw though, it's like that's pure Tomb Raider. I can see how they're gonna like push the envelope with some of their animations, like they've done in like older versions or whatever. So no, I'm excited for it. Just climb up in that huge world in 4K HDR greatness, and just and this will finish off the trilogy. So I feel like I've invested into the story, and I would like to see how the story ends. You guys must have been feeling the same way, eh? Back me up here.
Yeah, I am. I'm really
I don't know about
fired
Steven,
up for
but
this game.
he hasn't watched the second one.
And I'll be honest, like I only saw like bits and pieces of the Shadow because I was live tweeting the whole time, and I'm like getting caught up on stuff, and this is going on, and so I missed some of it. But what I did see looks absolutely amazing. Graham, this is a day one for me. And it has been. Rise of the Tomb Raider, I still think is one of the best games that we've gotten this generation. So I'm really looking forward to this, and I'm hoping that at worst it's like as good as Rise. I'm hoping for better, but we'll see. I mean, some of the early, play time that some people have gotten from it with it in the media has not been great.
Yeah, I don't think they like how it's coming like to the dark side of the movie. Dark side of the Lara Croft. But like they're trying to do like a full cycle. Like they said, like the first one is like she's learning how to be a Tomb Raider and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then in the second one, like she's learning like different skills. And then in the third one, like she's just a straight up like badass, like murderer or something like that. So I'm definitely interested to see where they go with it.
Yeah, I agree. And there's nothing wrong with having character development and character arc and having the character be a little different game to game.
Mm-hmm. And was that Jonah that we saw in the trailer? Has he completely changed again? Like
Yeah.
every different version or whatever, he's like completely different. So,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know because again, I was tweeting. But,
yeah.
So, yeah. So Steve, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, thoughts on that?
I mean, it didn't actually make me that excited to go back and play like Rise, like I thought it would. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a curmudgeon again. I did that yesterday with EA. I'll go back and play it, and I'll play Shadow of the Tomb Raider eventually. I guess these are just not my types of games. I don't know what it is. Because I don't like the Uncharted series that much either. So
Yeah.
I think it's just more of the action-adventure games.
Okay.
Like, I feel like I'd like it because of the puzzles, and I love puzzles, but this is just not my cup of tea, I'd say. It's no
Okay.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and that's fair enough. There's nothing wrong with that. So, all right, Steve, it's your turn.
All right. Well, one game that we hadn't seen for a while that came back on the stage this year was We Happy Few.
Yeah.
And I must say, it looks a lot better than the first time we saw this game. Because I bought it based on the first, like, intro cutscene cinematic, whatever you want to call it. It was probably, like, 10, 20 minutes long. And it was awesome. And then the actual game, like, play started, and it wasn't as awesome. And the cinematics we saw today looked a lot more like what I expected the game to be, with the like city kind of going to hell, with people trying to or keep taking the joy and just ignoring the going to hell in a handbasket type of vibe that the city's going under. And it looked more cinematic-y and like more post-apocalyptic type of scenario, and I'm excited to play this game. It's coming out on the 10th of August this year, so I already own it because I bought it when it was in preview. So I'm excited to actually play the full release of this game and see what changes have been made. Tyler, I know you also have played this game.
Yep.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I bought it, same thing, early release or pre-game preview, and I kind of like you. I thought the first stage of the game, like when you're in the underground or whatever it is, was amazing. And you're like looking through the articles and all that stuff. You're kind of discovering some things and whatnot. I thought all that was tremendous. And then you get like outside, and not so much. And it looks like they've addressed that. It looks fantastic from what I see. I remember the very first time I saw this game at E3 a few years ago. It had a very Bioshock-y feel to it. And I don't know if I sense that so much today, but that's okay. The game should stand on its own, and if being different, it makes it better than be different. So I just want it to be good. That's a game I've kind of been invested in and wanting to get my hands on for a while, and now we're finally getting it in August. So, yeah.
I should clarify. I meant Bioshock as like the world, not as in the like that whole like what's it called, the Atlas Shrugged type of feel.
Yeah. Yep.
Than the gameplay, but that's what I meant.
Yep.
So.
I agree.
Graham.
So I don't have a lot to say on We Happy Few. I haven't played the game. I've watched like the video and a little bit of the trailer. It looks like a really interesting story. If anything, the story would draw me in. But unless I'm really bored and I'm looking for something to play, or it gets like 10 out of 10, like crazy reviews, I don't really see me playing it unless it comes on Game Pass and it's free. I don't know. But there's nothing really sticking out to me to make me want to play it.
Yeah. All right. So one more round through, and
Sure.
And then we'll go after that. We'll go to questions and all that good stuff. So I want to talk about Forza Horizon 4. We saw that, and it's set in England this time, or the UK, and that's awesome. So different place. First time was one in Colorado, I think, and then last time was mainland Europe, wasn't it? Italy, or no, last time was Australia. The time before that, I think, was Italy. So we're getting a different location. That's awesome, and we're also getting dynamic, not just dynamic weather, but dynamic seasons. So as you play in this like shared open world, the seasons for everybody are going to change at the same time. So you could drive down the same like road and have it be a totally different experience based on whether it's summer, fall, winter, or spring. based on the road conditions and different things going on. And then also the scenery changes. In winter, the trees have no leaves on them. You know, all that type of stuff. So a lot of detail's been put into this, and I think that's kind of a unique change to a game that adds some replayability to it and a fun factor to it. And this game's also coming out, early October? Like first week of October this year. So we're getting that, and it's available on Game Pass on day one if you have Xbox Game Pass. So, Steve, what are your thoughts on Forza Horizon 4?
Yeah, I really wanted to know if I could still play single player like races, because I don't like playing racing games online. I'm not like bad at them, but I'm not amazing, and I don't like playing games where I'm required to be online. Like for like the gameplay mode. I enjoy being able to mess around against a computer in whatever races I feel like doing, as opposed to having to wait for the online aspect, because they said it was a shared world. So I'm trying to understand if it's like if everyone's together in the open world, but you can still play single player races, in which case awesome. But if I have to play races against other human players, I'm not going to be super happy.
The way I took it, Steve, is that you can. When the blimp was there, that sort of signal, that was like the I'm trying to think of a good like a public event almost in Destiny, you know, where it like brings everybody together.
Yeah,
or it's designed to. So
I got that.
Yeah, those aren't going to be everything, and I think that you're still going to be able to do your single player races, just going up to like the starting point and triggering the race and all that good stuff. So I don't think that'll change a whole lot with this game. I think that'll be similar. And why would you want to splitter off that part of your base that doesn't want to play online? Because I'm with you. I don't really love online racing games either. So that would dramatically affect my experience with that game if all I could do is do it online with other people. So I'm with you, but I don't think that'll be the case. Graham, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I agree that I don't think they will take the single player aspect out of it, because like you guys, not that great at racing games either, and I'd rather play the computer instead of people racing that are amazing and then keep losing all the time, because that wouldn't be very much fun for me at all. And but the fact that this game is coming on Game Pass, that solidifies that I will play it. Sometimes I'm hesitant whether I want to buy a racing game because it's like $60 or $80, whatever, and then I'm like, am I really gonna play it that much? Like, I know it's gonna look badass in 4K and HDR and all that awesomeness, but I couldn't justify spending all that money. But the fact that it's on Game Pass, then that will be a day one download, not purchase, day one download, and I will definitely get into it. And who knows, that could turn the tide, and I'd be like, I like racing games now. And then I might get the racing wheel and all that fun stuff, and maybe they'll come out in VR, and then I'll play Forza in VR. But anyways, as far as racing game goes, like I said, I'm not big in them, but Game Pass gives me the opportunity to try it out without investing all that money. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. And the dynamic seasons, that sounds awesome. Like, I wonder how bad I can crash like in the winter going as fast as I can. Like, that
Yeah.
sounds exciting to me.
Well, there was the DLC for Forza Horizon 3 with the winter setting, and that was super fun. That was a lot of fun. So can't wait for that. All right, Graham, what do you got? What's the last thing you kind of want to hit on here?
Okay, last one I'm going to hit on is it's not really your AAA title, but it's an exclusive, and this is actually an exclusive, and that is Ori and the Will of the Wisps. When they showed the intro video, the game looked awesome, like with the characters, and they did a little cinematic, and then I'm like, okay, I see this, now I want to see how the game plays. And then when I saw Ori kicking ass and like destroying stuff and killing, I'm like, this game looks amazing. And then they showed like the world looks so awesome. Like, I was just playing some Unravel 2, and it's kind of like that, but it's probably more like Unravel, you pretty much just go in a straight line the whole time. But Ori, like, you can like float around and like do all these specials. So I'm definitely excited for it. When I found the first game, somebody finally convinced me that it's a good game and I should try it out. And I tried it, and then I was hooked on it, and I played the living crap out of it, almost 100% of it. And then it was done. I'm like, man, I just want to play another one. And then when they announced Will of the Wisp, I think last E3, I think that's when they announced it, I was so excited for it. And like I said, when I watched the gameplay, it looks awesome. It just brought me back all that nostalgia of just exploring and trying to find everything. And then later when you get all your like full powers and stuff like that, you can just go through the world so fast. It's so much fun. I'd recommend to anybody who has not played Ori and Blind Forest to go check that out, and then you won't have to wait long. What is it? Early next year that Ori and the Will of the Wisps comes out, and I'm pretty sure that'll be a game.
2019. It's
2019.
Yeah, we didn't get a month.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure that will be on Game Pass. So
It will.
I'll be playing it for free.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
So, Steve, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was really hoping that Microsoft was about to do an EA and be like, and it's available today. And I would have, like, you know, ended my stream and gone and downloaded that. Like you guys almost did yesterday with Unravel 2.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is 2019 has me a little disappointed because the game was shown last E3, and I don't want to say that an indie game, especially with the gorgeous artwork of like the Ori games, shouldn't take as long as like a big AAA game, but I thought the game would be this year. And the fact that it's not until next year, and the fact that it doesn't even have a month next year, has me a little worried. But what we saw today, like, there would seem to be a lot to the game, so I'm curious what they're still working on. I hope it's bigger than Ori and the Blind Forest, because I'm with Graham. I loved Ori and the Blind Forest, and if I remember correctly, after Will of the Wisps was announced, Graham and myself kind of played through Ori and the Blind Forest together in a party. I mean, we played on our own, but it was like at least for me, it was a competition of who was going to win and beat it first, and it was me. But I loved the game as well, and me and Graham played at the same time, and we're kind of helping if we needed each other out to get through some of the tough jumping puzzle segments. But the new abilities look amazing, and I'm so stoked for this game, and I just wish it was here right now because I want to play it.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, I love everything about Ori and the Blind Forest. I thought it was fantastic. I think the world is amazing. The color scheme is fantastic. The story is great. Like, it's one of those stories where literally in the first 10 minutes, it's making you feel something.
Yes.
And it gives the character purpose, and it makes you want that character to succeed and get behind them, right? It's not, Steve, we talked about on the show, like how some shooters, you're just like shooting through people to get to the next checkpoint, you know? That wasn't like that. So, yeah, I think they did a great job with Ori and the Blind Forest. I think everything was fantastic. Graham, you said the way you kind of get new abilities and we were able to do new things as you progress through. I think it's great, but at the same time, there are times when that game is like maddeningly difficult.
Yes.
And,
at first.
Yeah. And that adds something to it too. Like, you feel accomplished when you actually get through some of these things because it's very precise, and you know it's not easy at times during the game. So I thought they struck a great balance, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. I wouldn't worry too much about it being delayed. I don't think that means trouble for the game. I think it's a smaller studio, and they're getting it right. And based on what they did in the first one, I'm willing to give them kind of benefit of the doubt and, you know, see what they can bring to us next year. So that's mine.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you got?
All right, I'll end on a questionable game.
Okay.
Crackdown 3 was shown, and actually made me a little more calm about the game.
Yes.
I was super worried. And then they showed the gameplay, and like there are some like graphics in the game that make me like a little hesitant. It looks kind of off, but I feel like that's the overall graphical setting. It kind of looks like it was designed 5 years ago, but the gameplay looks pretty fun, and you get the game free in Game Pass.
Yep.
So I'm kind of excited for this game. I mean, I don't have to pay $60 on the 22nd for this game. I get it for free. So, you know, that's kind of in the lead of what the game I'll be playing on the 22nd, because I don't have to spend money. But yeah, I'm actually like kind of interested now. It did save my worries a little bit. What about you, Tyler?
Yeah, kind of the same thing. And we kind of mentioned it like in chat together when we were watching the conference, but it has a little bit of like a Sunset Overdrive-y feel to it.
Yes.
In a way. And that is a great thing. That's a good thing. So the way you kind of go around and cause chaos and just do like crazy stuff left and right, I think that's awesome, and I think that that's really good, and something that can be a lot of fun to just sit down and play, sort of mindless fun type of game. And I'm much more put at ease with it today than I was before this conference. So
Yes.
I feel better about it. I think they're on the right track. It looks like they've sort of addressed some of the problems. And time will tell. I mean, we're, 8 months from release now? So we'll see on February 22nd, like we'll see for a lot of other games on February 22nd. But, yeah, I'm not really as worried about it anymore as I was. Graham, how about you?
Well, first and foremost, I can say another game is coming to Game Pass.
Yep.
So, and we keep hearing all these exclusives, and all I keep thinking is like, I don't have to spend any money, like not more than I'm spending per month anyways, which is such a great feeling. Like I hear these games, I'm like, are you gonna play it? I'm like, well, I don't know if I want to spend the money, but it's free, so why not, right? So Crackdown 3 also fits in this category for me. I really wasn't that excited to play this game. The gameplay did look like it could be fun and all that stuff, and I really don't know a lot about it. Like when I heard like a building will crumble into a million pieces, like that stuff kind of excites me. So I might be that guy who just goes around and just destroys stuff just to watch it be destroyed.
Yep.
I have inner angst I have to get out, so I usually get them out in video games. But yeah, like overall, like the characters, nothing really sucked me in, but I've got nothing to lose, right? So I'll try it, and maybe I'll be hooked on it. Who knows?
Yeah, cool. So one last one I just want to throw out really quickly, just really quick impressions, but I thought it stood out a little bit. Dying Light 2. Kind of cool, right? To see that.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to that. And wasn't that early next year too? Like, I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't think they had a release date.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, they
I
didn't.
don't
No,
have a
you're
release
right.
date written down, so I don't
You're right,
think
they
we got
didn't. You're right, they didn't have one. So, but, the follow-up to a game that I thought was pretty fun the first time around, and I know our chat got pretty excited about it, a couple people, so I'm excited to see that game. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm excited too. I feel like it's more advanced than just zombies at this
Yes.
point, and I think that's great. And it's more like a world set in the zombie universe that doesn't revolve around zombies. It revolves around people, but there are zombies as well. And I'm super pumped. It makes me actually want to go back and play the first one. I didn't have anyone to play with, and I wanted to play that game co-op.
Yes.
I didn't enjoy it as much by myself, and so, if one of you guys wanted to
Sure. I'm
go back
game.
into the
Yeah,
world,
I'm
I'm
game.
totally down.
I'm game for that. And what I really liked about this too that we saw was that as you make choices on what to do when you interact with certain people, it changes the course of the game a little bit as you go forward. And I love seeing games kind of take that step to create that different experience, because then if you ever do play through again, you can have a totally different experience playing the game. And I think that's fantastic. And we saw like Detroit Become Human do that on the PlayStation side. So I think that's great, and really happy about it. Any other thoughts on it, guys?
Well, I'm glad you chose that game to actually talk about,
Yep.
because the first game, Dying Light, I might have been in school at one point. Anyways, I was really interested in it, but I couldn't justify spending it. Is the first one in the Game Pass? Do you know?
I don't know. It might be.
I don't think so.
So if it's not, I probably won't play it, unless it's for a discounted price, maybe. But yeah, when I watched this, I was definitely excited for it. I like what you were talking about, how your decisions affects the outcome of the game, and it affects if factions are on your side or they're against you. And so it seems like a lot of that is going on. It's interweb, like you said. There's hundreds of different choices, and all the outcomes are different and stuff like that. That is pretty exciting. That screams replayability, but me personally, I ain't got time to replay games. Not most games, anyways. There's some games that I replay, not many, but that would be a game that I would like to replay. But if I gotta invest in 200 hours, I probably won't replay it. But I would like to get through at least one go through just to see how the world changes and the decisions.
Yeah.
But I like those kind of games, kind of like what State of Decay was trying to do, but couldn't really pull off. I have more faith in these developers that they can pull off something better. So, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah. So, real quick, you mentioned State of Decay. Let me ask you, Graham. Like, you were the one of us who I think liked that game more than the other two of us when it launched. Are you still fired up about that game at this point?
I am.
Okay.
I've been wanting to go back to it just to see, like, how much I'm still enjoying it. Like with like more and more sessions. If it's like, oh, I'm just doing the same stuff, not really getting anywhere or whatever. So I haven't really got back into it, but I want to get back into it and just to see, because I know the game has so much more to offer that I've barely begun to scratch the surface. So I definitely want to get back in that. And you guys should jump in with me. It's a co-op game.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Saying it right now. Yes, sir. There we go. Some respect. Finally.
All right. So let's get ready to answer some questions here. But first, I want to just ask you guys, standout moment from the conference. One thing that you say is amazing, and you say it's the best thing they had today.
Steven?
Well, I'm trying not to fanboy here. Because, my answer is, you know what, I'm just going to do it.
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Sure. It looked great. There's nothing wrong with that.
That was my favorite moment.
And I think it was, like I said, I think it's a really big deal that they had that game on the Microsoft stage.
Yes.
So, considering that it's been a PlayStation title forever. So, agreed. Graham, do you have one yet?
Okay, I'll pick one. I'll go the fanboy route, too. The fact that Todd Howard came on stage and not only announced that ESO and Fallout 4 was going on Game Pass, but then they showed the trailer for Fallout 76, which was awesome, and it clarified that it's a full-blown game that everybody was wondering. That was the big question on everybody's mind. And that it confirmed that it's 4 times the size of the Fallout 4 map. So, holy shit, I want to explore all that.
Yeah. Absolutely. So for me, it's that start of the conference, we saw Halo immediately.
Oh, we're all fanboys.
So we're all going fanboy route here. But I think that was huge because it got the crowd into it right away, right? Like, that got the crowd energized. And then Phil Spencer came on stage and, like, people are literally just chanting his name over and over, And they're really excited. So that's an awesome job. Like, EA, take notes on how to get people excited. Because that EA crowd yesterday was dead.
Yeah, it's much better today.
So
for Microsoft.
Yeah, there were some people fired up, and especially early, like they got Halo going and a great trailer. Because we were all like, "What is this? I mean, it looks awesome, but what is this?" And then we saw the Master Chief's helmet. We're all like screaming like little girls. So except for Graham, but
yes. We'll clarify that. I screamed like a little girl with Fallout 76.
For Todd Howard, yeah. So. So, yeah, that was it for me. How about low point?
No Fable.
Or disappointment. Yeah, disappointment.
No Fable, no Lost Odyssey 2, and no Scalebound.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, I would say no Fable was a big disappointment. I expected Fable. I can't think of any other disappointments. Maybe I'll let you know after you tell me yours.
Yeah. So mine is that I think they missed a golden opportunity to make a really compelling case for why you need an Xbox One over a PlayStation 4 right now. I think they made a case for why you're going to need one next year. But right now they missed that by not figuring out a way to bring that EA Access Premium or Premier to console.
That's true. We did think that was going to happen.
Yep. I think that would have been just amazing. Like telling people, hey, for this subscription service, you get Battlefield this fall, and what's the other one? I'm just totally missing out on. I know Madden, FIFA, and Anthem next year, yeah. So you get all those games with that on Xbox One, and guess what? PlayStation doesn't offer this.
Yeah.
So that was a huge missed opportunity. Now, there's still a chance that we'll see that tomorrow as a way for Sony to unveil that they're now going to have EA access. So that's a possibility. But never know. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's the other way it could. So
yeah, I think that's wishful thinking, but
and I'm not saying wishful thinking. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just saying that's the other way that they could maybe do it.
Yeah.
So, all right. Steve, what do we got for questions here?
All right, another light day, but we got a few. Buddy Boy on Discord asks, what was the biggest shock in your opinion, good or bad? It kind of flows into from what you just asked, Tyler, but I mean, you might have something different.
For me, it was the Cyberpunk reveal at the end. Like, I was not expecting that at all. And not on that stage. I thought it would be on Sony's stage, and it wasn't. It was on Microsoft, and great job. Great get by them. So I was really surprised.
You know, I think I'm gonna. I'll say too. I was shocked about all the Square Enix titles being on the Microsoft stage, but we kind of said why we think that was. It's bigger platform, bigger audience, so why not? And then I'm gonna go with Tyler about Cyberpunk 2077. Because I had an idea that Fallout, like something with Todd Howard might happen because there's been hints and I've talked about it. But I had no idea Cyberpunk 2077 until Phil said Poland at the beginning. But before that, I had no idea. So that was a shocker for me.
Okay. Steve?
Mine, I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 was a big shock, but I'll just go different. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition was a shock. I didn't expect that at all. It wasn't a new JRPG, but at least we get a JRPG that was not Final Fantasy 15. Right. So, you know, good JRPG, we should say.
But with Sekiro, that's a JRPG, right?
Which one?
Sekiro? Whatever. It was after Ori. You don't remember it?
Well, I mean, AAA JRPG.
Yeah.
Little indie title.
So,
okay.
Yeah. Okay, what's up next?
All right, DC52 is like, overall, were you disappointed in the conference?
Not at all. I thought they did a fantastic job.
Hell no.
Yeah, I was not either. I was disappointed that we didn't get Fable, but, I mean, that's just a minor thing. The conference was amazing. Yep. It was one of the best E3 conferences I've seen. And granted, that's not a lot, but... Well, I quite enjoyed this one.
I'll tell you, I think this was the best and most focused Microsoft one I have ever seen. I will say I think Sony's 2013 was better. It was more impactful, but for Microsoft, like, this was fantastic. They did everything they needed to do today. Even though we didn't get some of the stuff we wanted, but I don't know. I think people have to stop saying something sucks just because they didn't get everything made just for them. You know?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it sucks. They showed stuff today that I'm not going to play, but I think it's awesome that they are broadening, what they're offering to their player base. And we should celebrate that because that's going to make the console base stronger and it's going to make gaming stronger. So, anyway, that's my thing.
Yeah, and kind of going off that, there was a lot of questions that were like this. Like, are you excited for the future of... Most of them actually are asked, are you worried for the future? But based on what we see, I'm going to change it a little bit. Are you excited for the future of the Xbox after this conference?
For the first time in a long time, yes, absolutely. I think they're on the right track. I think they know where they want to go, finally. And they know how they're going to get there. And they know when they're going to get there. And I think that's awesome. So
I agree. I would like to have seen a couple more exclusives. But... And I would have liked to see what those 5 developers they brought on to Microsoft Studios were developing. But I am excited for the future of Xbox.
Yeah, no, for sure. When they showed that or talked about the 5 studios, they went through all the genres pretty much, and that reassures my faith in them. And like I said, these studios too, they're not all the same type of studio. They all offer different experiences. So I think that was a great move on their part, and I'm definitely looking forward to what they bring out with those.
Yeah, so DC52 said, had to ask the question about were we disappointed because we were really disappointed last year. I really wasn't that disappointed in Microsoft last year. I thought they had a pretty good show. This one was definitely better than last year, though. So, yeah. I mean, we even have people that just have a PlayStation in our chat right now saying things like they're considering switching to Xbox One based on what they saw today. And maybe it is hype. That might die down tomorrow night when somebody takes stage. But that's the type of impact that it had today.
Well, yeah, because they'll have to confront, Game Pass and EA Access. These are big ones that PlayStation do not offer.
Mm-hmm. So, that's where I'm at. Anybody else, or are we going to the next one?
Yeah. We can go to the next one. I don't
Okay.
have anything else.
Yeah, next.
All right, last question. Our good friend Blake asks, "Are you happy they announced Skate 4?"
Did they?
So
Sorry, I
we
didn't
This
notice.
saw.
might be the running joke of E3 this year for us.
So Blake, we're sorry because they really trolled you this time.
Yeah, they did.
We saw skateboards and we saw stuff, and I even tweeted Skate 4 is coming to Xbox One. Like, that's how sure I was. And it wasn't. Was it
They're
Skate,
up-
Skate Session or whatever?
Yeah.
But it's coming.
It's just called Session. It's
just called Session? Okay.
And it was on the PC. But yeah, it's not Skate 4.
Okay.
They're up to something, though. They really are. Like, all this hinting and trolling and all that stuff. Well, Blake says he's still pretty
Yeah.
excited for Session, though.
So
Are you
it's
excited
a,
enough to get an Xbox?
it's a console launch exclusive, so that's good for Xbox, right? I mean, it sucks for gamers overall on the PlayStation side if they were looking forward to it. You don't want that to be the case, but I mean, it's still good for them. All right. Anything else, Steve?
No, that was the last question.
Okay. So I just want to throw out real quick before we announce a winner that if you're in Twitch chat, you can submit questions as well, and please join us again tonight for Bethesda, and we'll do a pre-show just like we did for this conference, and we'll carry the conference live on our Twitch channel and have a post-show live on Twitch, and that'll go out in podcast form for everybody out there as well. So, yeah, and if you're enjoying our content so far, first of all, I would say thank you for joining us. But if you're enjoying our content so far, whether you're on Twitch or you are just listening to the show on whatever podcast app, you know, we appreciate it. And if you'd like to see us do more stuff like this, because we do a lot during E3, we're on it for like the entire conference. So if you'd like to see us do more, you can help support us and make that, you know, something that we can do. So on Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub on Twitch, you can go on there. Following is huge, but if you choose so, you can subscribe to us there. Really helps support us. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free subscription to use on Twitch every single month that if you choose to, you can send our way. And we'd really appreciate that. If that's not your cup of tea, we also have a couple other ways if you're interested. You can head over to Patreon, patreon.com/gaminghub, and take part there. And if you donate at the $5 level or above, once we get 10 people in the $5 or above, we're going to do a full $60 game giveaway every single month that you'll be entered into just for being a $5 or more patron. At the $10 and above level, you get a t-shirt or a t-shirt and a mug based on which tier you're in. So we'd appreciate if you do that as well. Really helps us out. Helps us create more content, do more things. We want to expand and do like 2 episodes a week and do more stuff via Twitch, YouTube, etc. in the coming year, and it really helps kind of do that. So anyway, anyone? Oh yeah, we have apparel too you can buy if you choose. You can head over to teespring.com, teespring.com/gaminghub there, and you can look at the t-shirts, sweatshirts. I think we have a hoodie, mug, and stickers over there. And any purchase you make there helps support our show as well. We really appreciate that. All right, guys, let's wrap up with just a couple questions before we do our giveaway. So, what grade do you give Microsoft today? 8F.
I'm gonna go with an A minus because they could have came out with more, but I'm not disappointed. And I'm not going to give them an A plus because there's always room for improvement, and I can give them a little bit of wiggle room. So I think overall it's been really good. There's like if VR was announced at one point, I thought VR might have been announced. That might have like tipped the scale a little bit, but we're gonna leave it at that. That's mine.
Good, Steve.
Yeah, I figured Graham would be one of those that are like never an A plus. There's always room. No, I'm with him though. I think A minus. I think we're never gonna see VR on the Xbox One,
No, I
and we're
don't either.
not gonna see Summer of Arcade on
it's
the
looking
Xbox
that way.
One.
No, if we
I
didn't see,
feel like-
if we didn't see
Yeah.
VR this year, Steve, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
So-
it could happen with the next generation console. And it might even be
Yeah.
packaged in, but I don't think it's coming to the Xbox One.
Nope, I don't either. So I'm going to give it a solid A. I think they did exactly what they needed to do today. I don't know what else people were looking for other than for all this stuff to come out this year. And I think we knew that wasn't going to be the case, but they laid out where they're going. And they made the case to current Xbox owners and people maybe thinking about it. This is what you're going to be able to play on this console, and it's going to be the best place to play games. And not just say that, but actually have it mean something with what's coming. This is exactly what Sony did in their conferences 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, where everybody afterward was like, that's the greatest conference that's ever happened.
That's true. I
So-
could have used one game coming out this fall, though.
Well, you
That wasn't Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Well, you get Forza Horizon 4.
Oh, come on.
You get
I know.
Tales of Vesperia, that's in winter.
That's true. I do get
You get
that.
Wii Happy Few in August.
Yeah. So there is stuff. It's just not no major AAA exclusives, so I get that. But I still give them a solid A. My other question for you guys is this. Did they raise the bar for Sony tomorrow night at all here, or is Sony just like, that's cute?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, from what we know, like, we almost know everything. Well, we don't know everything. We know the big ones that Sony, but I think they got some things hidden away that people don't know about. So I think there's going to be some surprises, but I don't think they're going to have enough, like, of, like, broader spectrum of not only, like, some people may think PlayStation 5. I don't know if we're going to see any of that, so...
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think so, unless they like bring out all the big guns and come out guns blazing and stuff like that. Then I don't think so. They'd have a tough time, I think. But I don't know. You never know. You can't count anybody out because they'll come out with some great ideas and blow people away, and they know what points to hit on too, right? So they might just do that.
Yeah, well, here's what I'll say before you go, Steve. Like, we know we're seeing 4 games from them that are going to get focused on in a big way. And all of those 4 games are monster games that are coming out soon. Well, not all of them soon. But we know
you
what they
can't
are.
see soon. Yeah.
And we know what they are, and people are super hyped for them. So I don't know if it raised the bar for Sony at all. And that's not even including Days Gone, and I'm sure we'll see some of that tomorrow. But I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for them to like change their show too much.
No,
I
they
think.
can't. I'm just wondering if it made it harder for them to win with what they've got.
Yeah, but I have a feeling we're gonna see Red Dead and that Rocksteady superhero game tomorrow, and I think there might be a couple other like third-party games that we'll see intermittent with their first-party stuff. And I still have a feeling they can win this show because they have those 4 great AAA games that are coming soon, like way sooner than anything Xbox has. Plus the extra third-party stuff, I think they'll still manage to win. But it's tougher because Xbox did have a good showing.
They did. I don't think it raises the bar for Sony because I think they're both in different places right now.
Yeah.
Where Sony's got games sort of coming out and Xbox is more laying out, here's what we're doing in the future. They're in a different spot. So I don't even know if you can truly compare them this year. People will because they want to say somebody wins, right?
Yes.
But I don't know. I don't think it's fair to say one's better than the other this year because they're trying to do different things. So, all right. Who is our winner, Steve?
All right. Well, the numbers have been rolled, or the RNG or whatever, and the winner of this for this show is Manuel Lazoya on Facebook. So get in contact, Manny, and you get that $50 Xbox gift card.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Thanks for supporting, and we really appreciate that. If you'd like to have a chance to win, head on over to Facebook, go to the Gaming Hub forums there. We've been getting a lot of new people joining, so that's awesome. Thank you. Get questions in for Bethesda tonight, and you can win the $25 gift card tonight that we'll do in the Bethesda post show. So, anything else, guys, before we get out of here for Microsoft?
Oh, I'm so pumped for Bethesda. Like, bring it on. I know we're not going to get the reveal of Fallout 76, so what are they going to wow us with? They got to have something, right? They said it's going to be their biggest one ever. They've already said Rage and Fallout 76, so they've leaked a lot of stuff. So, I don't know, guys. I'm optimistic. I'm waiting for something big for you guys. Maybe you guys, maybe me. We'll see.
All right. So I'll say we'll be back tonight on Twitch live at 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 Eastern, and 6 Pacific, half hour before the Bethesda conference, and then we'll be on right after for the post show. Thanks everybody for joining us, really appreciate it, and have a great E3, everybody. We'll be back later tonight with more for you. Until then, have a great day.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.